10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have ignition.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program How Not to RP-1 Addendum. So we are working on our first actual orbital class rocket this episode, and trying to make some tweaks from the kind of prototype we built last time, including slimming out the second stage, making it just 1.5 meters down from 2 meters, so we can get rid of some of that unused space. And I am violating the core tenet of my being by testing out MechJeb Ascent Guidance PVG. So yeah, it's actually pretty easy to use, and I did not have a terrible time with it, although I'm still trying to wash the shame from my skin. But yeah, it turned out it was very helpful. We could deal with much better margins than when I could. So this is, I think, our second or third actual test flight of this vehicle. And of course, I think our next pending contract was the Polar Orbit contract, for which our narwhal delivery system, or even our just kind of barely marginal launch vehicles prior to this generation of launch vehicle were not adequate enough to even put much of anything, let alone the required tonnage, into a polar orbit. Actually, really like to lean into this. However, MechJeb was still able to burn off a fairing and let us do a couple of loop-to-loops as we try to stabilize. Is doing a great job of keeping that AJ-10 ullaged. Oh, this AJ-10 is really the main focus of today's episode, because it's first gen AJ-10s are just so brutally unreliable. But as I said before, this is a test sim, and we're just trying to figure out if what we've built is actually capable of doing anything at all, let alone, nothing. So there's that. I think currently we're carrying 50 some odd kilograms or so on top of our avionics unit, on top of this second stage. So that's a pretty nicely classed satellite, and it does manage to get it into a nice polar orbit with even a little bit of fuel left over. So I think we can, judging by the delta V, maybe even double our capacity to 100 something kilograms, maybe, which is still pretty tiny by satellite standards, I guess. Back then, today, that'd be a pretty robust satellite, or at least it could be. But we've got some margins, and we can work with that. So we're going to pile every scientific equipment onto this thing that we absolutely can, and solar panels, which fantastic. You can scale and move these, and size them the way you want them to be sized. It makes things a lot easier. And we're not going to try to push our tonnage all the way to the top, but we are going to take our little trash can satellite here and just see how much we can wedge on it, because we really need some science points. We really need upgrade points, but we've not had the money really to deal with that yet. And while I'm currently very unhappy with the shape and size of most of these things, decided to delete the standard battery and go for these little tanks, which we already have tooled thanks to our narwhal launcher. They were sized for the RCS containers, and put some little battery balls on the side there of our little trash can. We'll keep the fairing size the same so we can go up quite a bit should we so need, and eventually we'll pick a paint color. But I could honestly just slide these color sliders around for 2 or 3 hours, being perfectly content until I find something I really like. But we're just going to go for a very, very, very polished silver on that first stage with black and orange accents. But like I said, the big problem here is that we need flight data on this AJ-10. So why not get an AJ-10 into service the quickest, cheapest, fastest way that we can? We'll just slap one on the back of our X405 here. It'll take about 4 days to install. We'll change all the fuel types over, and then go airdrop it from what I assume at this point is a B-48, maybe a B-52, although I don't think those were quite in service yet. Anyway, we're going to run this test flight, so here's old me. Okay, pull up the landing gear, turn on atmospheric autopilot, punch it. No, we don't need. You open. Oh god. Tail strike. Master switch engaged. Stage. How's your ignitions looking? Feed pressure too low. Oh, good. Well, here we are, full of fuel, and I should have run that simulation. Oh God, please, Bill, make it. No, we're already down to 6 kilometers. Yeah, and there's where your buddy died. Sorry to point that out to you. We don't have any metric for venting fuel. I guess there's a stock fuel vent part, which we should have access to by now. Drain it all. Crap. Does this count as flight time? We're moving pretty well. 260 some odd meters per second. We can flatten this out just a bit. Bail. I don't think we can. I don't think he can actually get out of this cockpit. Crew hatch. No, there's an EVA button. If we have to, we will. But it looks like we're... Oh, God. Still in physics warp. Transfer crew EVA. Okay. We still got plenty of speed. I think we're going to be okay. We're just... We might tear the tail off of this thing when we hit. Oh, yeah. We're actually too fast. An EVA at low altitude. Did we save the plane? I think we can land this. Press P for parachute. Alright. Say, thank goodness this thing is such a good little glider. We actually have to brake. I thought we weren't going to make it. But we made it. We just have to switch that aftmost tank. God. This is a really dumb decision, man. This is real dumb. Come on, come on. Bill, you can do it, man. Brakes, 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 brakes. Drag chute out. Oh, God. Do not hit the light. Do not hit the light. Oh! Okay. Bounce. Gear up. Master switch engaged. We go. The staging. Why would you do this to me? Oh, it's already staged. You've got to be kidding me, right? You're kidding, right? What happened? Does it tell us failed to ignite? Of course it did. Alright, Bill flies fully loaded toxic fueled aircraft, way overweight, back to the runway. Take 2. We didn't ignite it last time. Or did we? Just said failed to ignite. Welcome to AJ-1037, folks. Yeah, I'm thinking test stand with clamps probably better option at this point. Or maybe we just deploy directly over with fuel only in drop tanks. RP-1 version, which didn't reset engine ignitions. Yeah, I'll say this isn't about actually going fast or breaking barriers, JM Studios. This is about getting some flight time on this AJ-10 so that our orbital vehicles don't fail. Early ignitions are reset by real fuels. Gotcha. Yep, we are a bit low, but we know we can make it. All Bill has to do, or Bob, sorry, Bob. God, I keep calling you the wrong name. For the hero of the space program that you have been. It seems that would be more insulting by calling you by your dead compatriot's name. You think this plane makes a good boat? It does not. We have tested it. It's right over there. Space whales slap you. Alright, yeah, we're fast. We are faster than hell and heavier than shit. That's what we should have done. Let's put in something to dump the fuel. If you can tell me very quickly how to dump fuel, I'm used to just using, God, what's it called? Ship Manifest? Which I don't have in this install. HyperEdit. Don't have that either. Okay, too slow. Stock fuel vents are in a later version. Dang it. I don't want to keep doing this landing that makes my heart palpitate. I'm too old for this. It's going to kill me one day. Don't want to use too much runway. So bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Too fast. No. God, what are you doing? F me. Recover to spaceplane hangar. So we had to move to like Plan C, and this is a scaled-up sounding rocket with that AJ-10, just to get us some flight data because, well, our first actual rocket is going to be rolling off the out to the launch pad very, very soon, and well, we want it to go as smoothly as possible, right? Okay, not that one, probably, because we don't have a advanced biosample on it. Not that one. Okay, first scientific satellite. Apogee above 1.5 million, which is, so we'll just let's move to the correct field. We'll set this to 1600, and that has to be above 200, so we'll set that for 210. Have electric charge, transmit cosmic ray science, so we cannot forget that. Why do we have two in? Oh yeah, because our veneers. Emit coast. Should we emit coast? I think the coast did us well last time. What do y'all think? Well, we got a high periapsis, so let's emit coast this time. Booster pitch at 75. That should be good. I engage autopilot, I guess. Throttle is set to full. Ignition sequence start. Ignition. Oh God! Okay. Get that flight time, buddy. Okay, throttle is set to full. Moving engines to engine stages, and go. And failed to light. Spinny boys are just Beyblades because you sure as hell let it rip. Exploding things on the pads much sooner than Vanguard did. We're about to take out a runway, too. Wow. Did not see that coming. Ignition failure is a mission success. It gives us data points. Moving swiftly along. So after yet another failed to ignite, we will be moving on to our second orbital launch attempt. This time we actually leave the launch pad, thank goodness, and our booster performs completely nominally, getting us set up for a very nice orbital insertion, provided, of course, our AJ-10 decides to do work. Well, here's old me. I'll say right now we're just basically venting thruster fuel. Because why not? And I don't know if we're going to be able to hit our target orbit, but we're certainly going to try. And ignition failure. Again. So we'd spend a little time on orbit trying to get things right, figuring things out, but ultimately we're going to move on to our next sounding test, in which we did actually have a solid light of that AJ-10, and, well, the missile arced over to the west, and, well, we're just going to continue bombing other Floridians before we move on to our third launch attempt, which, once again, the booster leaves the pad successfully, and we start to arc over, and things are looking pretty good for us as we get through main engine cutoff and stage set, but here's old me. Oh, come on, really? You fucking pilot. Oh, hey, that's a Vernier, the S3D. EJ-10 failed to ignite. Again. Yes, again. We're just having terrible luck with these AJ-10s. We would get a little bit of science radioed back in before it burns up and explodes, but we'll move on again to another one of our sounding rockets trying to collect data. This one, once again, lights successfully, but arcs itself over to the west. So, sorry, Floridians, for all of the toxic debris, but we're on to launch 4. Gauge auto. Staging. All engines look good. Thank you. Yes, because sometimes I feel like it's realistic. And considering my starting fundage, I felt it appropriate to keep that extra level of failures incorporated. And I don't have a problem with there having been an ignition failure. My problem is that the clamps released when they had no business releasing. I guess that's what I get for letting MechJeb autostage exist. But here we go. Again. What is this, the 5th time? Fourth, right? Because we had one booster engine failure on the launch pad, and then we've had 2 AJ-10 ignition failures after booster set. Oh, you son of a bitch. God. Agathord! Sorry for the epilepsy, y'all. What am I looking for? Range safety. Yes. Space Center. Ignition. Did it light? It did not light! Fuck you, man. You do see RP-1, and man, we are having the most cursed stream ever. I think we have yet to have a successful flight of literally anything this entire evening. Everything has been a fail. So after that launch, we're completely out of money. We had a contract expire, leaving us kind of in the lurch. So what we're going to end up doing is taking the first scientific satellite contract and the first polar orbit contract and use their advance to build, well, more rockets. But logistically, it turns out that we've got maybe one more launch attempt before we are completely flat broken. We start failing other contracts. So we really do just have one more shot to get this completely right and nail a contract, or we're bankrupt and that's it. This series is over. So it's launch day. Gauge autopilot staging. Gets wooden lighter. Like, of all the times to have just the RNG monkey all over my back, You want to go home and rethink your life? Yeah, it's good game if we don't complete the contract with this launch. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, we're kind of borked if this doesn't work. Thank God that engine hasn't exploded. I think that may push him to death sticks in this example. Woohoo! Restart. No, God, no. Please, God, no. Please, God, no. No more sounding rockets, please. Yeah, and this is going to be the last flight of this stream. Either way, so we either have a space program after this flight or we don't. And that's the end of How Not to RP-1 Addendum series. SpaceX levels of reliance on this success. Yeah, like, it's just gotta work, please. Please, please, please work. I mean, honestly, if it doesn't, sorry, but the space program's bankrupt, and so is this series. So, please work. Please. This is not win hop. This is win work. Win work, trash can. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Many, many times. Looks like we're gonna get full burn out of our main engine this time. When ignite. Yes, when will you ignite, friend? Come on. Just please hit that 200-kilometer apogee. Please, please, please. You'll see it, Herbie. It's under the shell. It's just our trash can to space vehicle. A very, very well-polished trash can. Hey, what did you do? I forgot to hit omit coast, disengage autopilot. Go away, ascent guidance. I don't want you anymore. SAS engaged. Throttle is set to 0. Stage in the AJ-10. Ignition's remaining 1. Perfect. Let's level you in and hold the H key. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and we get to see if there's a slim chance that this is going to work. Casual 14 G's burnout. You know, it's whatevs. Let's at least roll to get our solar panels in the sun. I like how the pitch of the thrusters changes depending on what thrusters I'm firing. Don't panic. If only someone had put that on a towel for me. Deep breaths, everyone. 1 minute to AJ-10 supposed ignition. Let's start running our experiments. Get something. We have that one internal, which we should have removed like 7 times because we've got duplicate sciencey dumb things. We're going to leave this retracted because it interferes with the thing on the stuff. Fix this little problem, and it's light this candle. I know you would have lost that towel. It's funny because it's true. Alright, let's at least get pointed just about a degree above horizon. Got a minute 27, 2 minutes of runtime. So yeah, we're going to fire it at about 60 seconds. And we're just going to keep running these thrusters. So the more we burn off, the better off we will be. Don't screw up. AP is only 2.8 kilometers above 200. Did everyone pour out a little bit of their beverage to Agathorn? Because, you know, I'm done being not superstitious now. Ignition. It lit! AJ-10 light. Yes! Go, baby, go! Yep. Why are you so twitchy? Because we have a gimbal now. Come on, get in that prograde vector and stay there, dude. Come on. No delta V to spare. Yeah, okay, just, yeah, that's fine. Good enough. Great light. Here's a 42 puzzle to distract you. All out of beverages. No, Wookie, no! You're gonna jinx it. Fucking ignition. We're not in physics warp, right? Okay. Don't be twitchy. Don't be twitchy. Just nice and gentle. Right down the prograde. You can do it. Oh god, we're not even going to get to orbit, are we? Why am I so bad at this? MechJeb can do it. Polar. Pour some rocket fuel. just pour it right in the side of the fuel tank here. You know, we're not even going to go to orbit. This is dumb. We are bankrupt. Presses X to find out. God, no, grabbing. Stop it. Caps lock does make controls less twitchy. You are correct. We are drifting by a lot. There's our camera change. Hey, we're gonna stay in space. Just get above 1.5 million. Yes! It doesn't say a maximum cap, does it? We did it! Oh, don't talk about the X. It is excluded. We have to, dude, why is... If this dumb, stupid fucking science experiment... Mass spectrometry isn't broadcasting. Running. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and separate. Ba-doop. Start the magnetic scan. Yeah, it turns out there's like a glitch with the science. If you're using Kerbalism, it expects the whole experiment, but that's not really the spirit of the contract. Just radioing some data back is more than enough to complete the field. And of course, this will stay up for several months, radioing data back in and enjoying the use of its solar panels that are not adequate to keep the whole thing fully powered up. But we'll get what we can, and we will radio back in quality data for at least a good long while here. This has been a very trusty little trash can once we put an engine underneath it that actually decided to light. So the space program is saved by a small little trash can in orbit. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.